Hello, Dopey Nation, and welcome to another bonus Patreon video. My name is Dave, and this is the Patreon on the podcast on drugs, addiction, and other dumb shit. And today we are diving into the archive. My friend Brad found a video that we made in 1999 when we produced a show that we called Shuffle on a network that was called the Burly Bear Network. And the idea was they basically wanted me to make a music video show, but we were in New York and there were so many concerts, I wanted to go shoot concerts. And one of the first concerts I got to go shoot was a band called Built to Spill out of Olympia, Washington. And Brad loved them and they were great. And then we managed to cover a bunch of other kind of indie rock bands, and Brad loved indie rock, so he was like, let's do an indie rock special. So we made this, and it's all about indie rock, and we called it The Kids Are All White because everyone in the video was white. And I was totally stoned every bit of this video. And it's funny because whatever I can find from the Burly Bear days, the weirdest thing about the whole thing is that I became a heroin addict working there. So it's like, I think all of these videos were pre-heroin use, but they were so close that I'm not even sure. This video, we covered Built to Spill, we covered this band called Man or Astro Man, and we covered Pavement, which is a gigantic rock and roll band, and I interviewed Steve Malcolmus, and he was kind of a dick. So check it out. Here we go. It's called Shuffle. The Kids Are All White, right here, from 1999, and go for it.
Yeah, you got this? Right here behind me are indie rockers who refuse to speak about indie rock. Take a look at them.
Well, because you can come to a show at Irving Plaza, a sold-out show with 1,200 people, and see Doug Marsh, half balding, and a little fat and everything, but he's making music, and that's what it's all about. Who cares what you look like? And that's what I like. There's a guy out in Indiana creating his own music. He's not listening to the corporate bullshit up on 57th and 5th. He's making music. That's what I like about indie rock.
Waiting for someone to say something that's right.
When I think of the indie rock scene, I think of like Olympia, K people, and I think of Chris Aquino, and I think of you, I think of people that are like what I consider my community, because I don't have a community of like a church community, or I don't go to school or have a job or anything. It's like those are the people that belong where I belong, people I belong with. They have the same basic ideas about the world, same sort of politics, and usually the same reasons for loving music.
Built to Spill is really good too. I think maybe Built to Spill is up there with Pavement, maybe, but definitely not.
I will say with a straight face that Pavement is the greatest rock band of all time.
Is Pavement the greatest rock and roll band of all time?
No. In most towns, there's a small club where bands play, aren't signed to labels, and they have a little community of like-minded bands that they hang out together, and they just make their own records, and they really aren't in the mainstream swimming towards like the mainstream. Perhaps those bands would be like the indie rock community. It's a scene that supports itself. Probably centered in mostly college towns or larger metropolitan areas of the country.
Cynicism plays a big part. I'd say that the whole self-deprecation thing is one of the most important parts of indie rock because everybody always seems to be laughing at themselves, and I don't know why.
What do you make of indie rockers?
We make furniture out of them. We make carpet out of them.
Also be processed by the EV Act.
Yes, yes.
Indie rock.
Anything with an indie rocker these days.
Indie rock died with the mass consumption of alternative culture about 1996. Indie rock died in about the mass alternative futurism of culture and conglomerate.
I believe that, but let's just imagine it's
yes.
1996.
Yes, okay, Dave.
This is the
Tell me.
toy days.
Exactly.
I mean, now you can build anything you need out of an indie rocker, but this is pre-indie rock Lincoln Log. Pre-Lincoln Log indie rock.
That's what
Almost
I'm saying.
like a Lego.
I'm talking back.
How long has it been since you've listened to a Slint record? It's not 1996, it's 1999. Space 1999,
Yeah, when is the last
Dave.
time you listened to a Slint
I've
record?
never listened to a Slint
You are
record.
kidding.
I don't like
And
indie
he's
rock.
doing
Sound-wise, I think they vary. These days, there's no one defining sound, I don't think, for indie rock. It's just any band that's doing their own thing and they're on an independent label, you know?
Say indie rock is.
Indie rock, okay. Indie rock is
Generally white guys
Sitting around in college,
smoking pot.
not graduating,
A lot of them come here to feel young again.
and being really cynical. That's what it's all about.
Indie rock is struggling pretty badly right now. I think it basically boils down to the holy trinity of Guided by Voices, Sebado, and Pavement, who are all aging. And, you know, it's arguable that Pavement isn't really relevant anymore. And same thing with Sebado, and Guided by Voices isn't really Guided by Voices anymore. So now, I think with bands like Built to Spill, though, it's becoming more of what it was.
There's a lot of young kids. I saw in the audience there were like some high school girls in the very front right next to Stephen Malcolmus, and he was looking down at them like smiling. He was really getting off on it, bringing Pavement to a new generation, like Star Wars.
As I attend these indie rock concerts night after night, I have to wonder, will we ever know the truth behind the scene of indie rockers? Washed up white rock fans or cutting edge kids looking for the new spirit? I guess we'll never know. Huh, Dave?
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
Whenever I watch that video, I just get right here. And the end is my favorite part. You know, the funniest thing is we have no lights. We're like on the street in the dark. You can't see anything. The other thing is that I shot it all with my friend Dave, who you guys might know as the DK. And Dave became totally addicted to heroin with me. And when I'm talking at the end and I say, right, Dave? And he's like, I guess so. That is just beautiful. Like, this is the innocence of youth. And if you're an indie rock fan, I hope you liked it. And if not, I hope you liked seeing a little bit into the old life. Anyway, thank you for sticking around. Stay strong, Dopey Nation, and fucking toodles for Chris.